What is going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden J here. What is going on, everyone? Give me 1 second to fix the microphone, and we will keep going. All right, just give me 1 second to figure it out. Sorry if there's an echo. I'm watching it on here. All right, stand by for 2 seconds, guys. I apologize. All right, so we should be fine. Hopefully, it sounds much better. Okay, we are fixed. Hopefully that sounds better. Once again, my apologies. Yeah, I'm trying to work on that. I need to make a new intro because that one doesn't have music anymore. And I do this on StreamYard, and it gives me free music, and it gives me, like options, dance, pop, daydreaming, intro, night driving, and I choose the rock one because I guess that's the most exciting one on here. And I'm guessing it messes up. I use my internal microphone on the computer. I'm not tech savvy. I don't have a crazy good microphone. But that aside, no more ranting off about that. Let's talk some New York Mets baseball. What is going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden J here. Hopefully, we are all doing extremely well. I am most certainly doing well on this fine day. Hopefully, everyone is enjoying their day, enjoying their summer. I know summer is officially here. I know it was last stream, but I just never really bothered to say it. Hopefully, we are all doing extremely well. As always, please, everyone, if you are new to the channel, smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, tell your friends about this channel, and, of course, much more. I see we got a dozen of you guys in the chat already, so I appreciate those for you guys who are in here already. Definitely, hopefully, we get some more people on. I see everyone saying what's up in the chat. We will get to your comments as soon as I am done with my little rant in about 10 to 15 minutes. So if you have any comments, questions, concerns, anything related to the Mets, the Braves, the Phillies, the Marlins, anything NL East, anything with the Texas Rangers, the New York Yankees, Aaron Judge, Ronald Acuna Jr., anything baseball related, don't hesitate. Drop it in the comment section below. I know the College World Series is over. I'll miss one, so I don't know much about that. But if you have anything, drop it below. So in today's stream, we are going to be going over the New York Mets and the Miami Marlins series summary. Then we are going to be transitioning into the New York Mets and the Houston Astros series preview. We got some great stuff to cover on there. So super, super exciting to talk about that. So let's stop wasting any more time and let's go into what went down with this New York Mets team. So the New York Mets played 3 games down in Miami. I unfortunately was not able to go to any. I did have a couple things pop up. I do live in Florida, and I was hoping to attend one of those games, but maybe they are always coming down in July. Maybe I'll catch a game then. But getting into the first game, as we know, this would be Friday's game. I just had to look on my calendar. I get thrown off. It's crazy. The New York Mets won Friday's game by a score of 5-3. This was a very intriguing game. Getting started, we had Taijuan Walker on the bump. He's only surrendering 6 innings, obviously, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 99 pitches, so one shy of 100. Honestly, tip of the cap to Walker once again. I mean, this dude has been doing a phenomenal job for what he's been at this season. We know that he's had some injury concerns coming into the season, but overall, Walker really stepped up, and he put the injury stuff aside, and he's pitching like he's 100% healthy, and hopefully he continues to pitch that way. The splitter slider was on point. The fastball, he was connecting with the zone. Nito and him behind the plate. I will say Walker and Nito do pretty well together. So hopefully Walker can transition that to McCann, and of course much more with Nito, and even down the line with Francisco Alvarez, hopefully. For years to come. But that aside, honestly, phenomenal outing from Walker. The command of the strike zone is there, the whiffs, the swinging and misses. Phenomenal job, not giving up any barrels, any hard contact, anything crazy like he did last year. So tip of the cap to Walker. Bullpen came in. Drew Smith, little rough. 2/3 of an inning, surrendering 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. Unfortunate outing there. Was responsible for one of Taijuan Walker's runs scoring. Had the bases loaded. Originally, he was put into this jam with 1 runner on and loaded the bases. Was able to get bases loaded with no outs. Was able to strike out 2 and then give up a run, and then Ottavino was put in. So that's one thing we've been seeing about Mets pitching this year is, let's say a starter is taken out mid-inning. The reliever has some complexity finishing that inning. Why? I couldn't tell you, but hopefully that's going to be resolved shortly. Following that, Adam Ottavino came in, 1 inning and 1/3. Good solid start, only 1 hit, 11 pitches, no complaints. His slider was nice, nasty stuff. And then, of course, Edwin Diaz came in to close it. A little suspenseful in 1 inning, obviously giving up 2 hits, 14 pitches, but was able to get out of it. Another elite save from Edwin Diaz. In terms of it, Tylan Walker was eligible for the win. And, of course, Edwin Diaz got his save. That was Edwin Diaz's 15th save of the year. So he's really climbing up the stairs. Getting into this offense, for game 1, obviously, was very concerning going into this game with Sandy Alcantara on the bump. We know Alcantara has been having a phenomenal season. It is no secret. And we'll be getting some Cy Young votes. Definitely could even win Cy Young, depending on how his second half goes and then, everyone else around the league. But really beating up on Alcantara was huge. I was, coming into this series saying I didn't expect the Mets to win this game. I really didn't. But the Mets were able to feast up on Alcantara a little bit. Alcantara is a guy you have to get to early or else he will sink in and his stuff will, really get to you. So honestly, tip of the cap to, Sandy Alcantara. He had a somewhat adequate performance, but the Mets, they were just lucky enough to really get to the best of him there. Getting started in the first inning, Francisco Lindor had a solo home run to dead center, 404 feet, just left the ballpark. Obviously, there were some hits, some walks in the meantime, but the Mets didn't get most of their action until later on, where in the 5th inning, Mark Canha had a solo home run to left, 385 feet. And then in the 6th inning, Francisco Lindor provided the Mets with the rest of their offense with having an RBI double to right dead center field to bring in Marte, Nito, and Nimmo. Good to see Lindor clear the base pass. We know there was that weird challenge play. I probably would like to explain it, but I'm probably just going to confuse everyone, including myself. Hopefully most of you guys know what I am talking about, that challenge play with Nimmo sliding and, the second baseman Astudillo for the Marlins. Really intriguing. I don't even want to attempt to explain it because I'm probably just going to screw up myself and pretty much confuse everyone. So we're going to avoid that for now. But the New York Mets win this game by a score 5-3. Honestly, tip of the cap, to a lot of this Mets team for winning this game. That was one game that, I wasn't super, excited going into. I was a little nervous facing Alcantara, but we got out of it. Obviously, great night for Francisco Lindor, 2 for 4, a run, 4 RBIs. He needed that. Most of the offense wasn't crazy. A couple guys went 0 for 3 or 1 for 3. Nimmo going 1 for 4, Canha 1 for 4, Dom Smith and Nito 1 for 3. So it happens. No walks. Weird. You don't see our lineup walk. But that's how the game is played sometimes. Getting into game 2, the New York Mets also won this game by a score of 5-3. It's funny how these things work sometimes, right? So the New York Mets had Chris Bassitt on the bump for the New York Mets. And obviously going into the series, I guess it was going to be somewhat intriguing to see, how the Mets were going to go about this. Obviously, Chris Bassitt on the bump coming off of okay start last time, 7 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 0 walks, 5 strikeouts, a total of 90 pitches with 62 of those in the strike zone. So not bad. I will definitely take that. Overall, solid start, adequate for Chris Bassitt. Really no complaints, not much to, give an analysis off of. Following his outing, Seth Lugo came in for 1 inning, faced 3 batters, struck out 1 of them. You'd like to see that out of Lugo to come into games. And, we know that he's had a kind of a crazy season. From personal stuff to unfortunate experiences on the field. So hopefully you'll definitely like to see that. And then, of course, Edwin Diaz also came in to save it for a second straight day. An inning, 3 strikeouts, struck out the side with 16 pitches with 12 of those in the strike zone. Honestly, phenomenal from Edwin Diaz. This dude has just been lights out lately, and it's insane. The whiff rate, the strikeout rate, the dude is striking out half of the batters he's facing. I believe he has faced a little bit more than 100 batters, and he has struck out 49% of those. So that would be about half. So really, Diaz is having a phenomenal season. You hope that he can try and get to that 2018 self. We know 2019 didn't treat him well. And, I guess we'll see how it goes from there. I think 2019 Diaz is gone. I don't think we're going to have any more Ed Luz Diaz. Don't get me wrong. People are going to blow saves. It happened to Kelly Jansen the other night. It happens to the best of relievers, Mariano Rivera, whoever. Point is, guys are going to blow games. And, do you want to blow him like 2019 Diaz? No. But if Diaz can continue the way he has, I think he's only had 2-3 blown saves. And I think one of those was poor defense by Eduardo Escobar. and some, light contact. So overall, phenomenal outing there from Diaz. In terms of this offense, we definitely woke up facing Taylor Rogers, the lefty, who the Mets usually don't have the best numbers against left-handed pitching, but considering that they faced Rogers back-to-back appearances from the Marlins, he still had some of his repertoire, I guess, logged in their memory. Obviously, Mets did feast a little bit on the left-handed pitcher, getting 7 hits and 3 runs off of him with a walk, only striking out 5 times against them. So that's what you like to see. Getting things started in second inning, Pete Alonso had a solo home run to right, 346 feet, for his 21st of the year. In the fourth inning, Marcana grounded out to shortstop to bring in Marte. In the fourth inning, Eduardo Escobar had an RBI single to left center, 2 runs to bring in Lindor and Davis. You like to see that. He's been in a slump, and every single hit, every single run brought in by Escobar during a slump is going to be crucial for him. And then in the 8th inning, Pete Alonso had a solo home run to center, 343 feet to give the Mets the lead. And then in the 9th inning, Brandon Nimmo doubled to deep center. Ball was hit pretty hard to bring in James McCann, and good hustle from James McCann. Obviously, McCann was on first base, and this ball was hit pretty hard by Nimmo. So good hustling there from McCann for his first full game back, very much needed. And then, of course, that is what you like to see. Pete Alonso with his 22nd home run of the year. Phenomenal outing there from Alonso. Players of the game definitely has to be either Brandon Nimmo or Alonso. Nimmo going 3 for 5 with an RBI. Alonso going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs, the 2 home runs. Lindor going 2 for 5. You like to see that. Marte 2 for 5. Unfortunate, from Guillorme, Davis, McCann, but, it is going to happen to the best of guys. So New York Mets win this game. Chris Bassett gets the W, and Edwin Diaz gets the save. Well, that's what you like to see. And then the final game of this 3-game set, the Mets were coming into this game hoping to sweep. They haven't had much sweeps at all this series or this season, and you were hoping that they can go fishing. But the Marlins tugged the bait and said no. The Marlins won this game by a score of 2-3, and I think this was – I don't want to say this has been the most disappointing game this season, but it wasn't very much pleasant to watch. The New York Mets win this game, or the Miami Marlins win this game by a score of 3-2. Not the best outing for the New York Mets. Very rough. Obviously, getting started, we had David Peterson on the bump, and David Peterson had a phenomenal outing, back-to-back outings against the Marlins, where he's really shut down this Miami Marlins squad, and that's what you like to see in David Peterson. Obviously, Peterson going 7 innings. That is pretty high for him. Usually we've been seeing the pitch count's been kind of a concern for Diaz. So Peterson. So good to see David Peterson go 7 innings. The pitch count was high. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 0 walks, 8 strikeouts. We saw the strikeout rate was up. You like to see out of that a mix of, kind of his old self. We know that, he's not really I guess you could say, strikeout thrower. So really good to see him be able to do that. Phenomenal outing from Peterson. Had 104 pitches. So overall, kind of what's expected. I mean, he's definitely going to, have that high pitch count. So hopefully, if you are David Peterson and Jeremy Hefner, they can try and work on that, because down the line, I mean, if he goes to the bullpen, I'm not going to be as concerned about the pitch count. But as of right now, with him in the starting rotation, I don't want him to be in, the 3rd, 4th inning with a pitch count of 50, because this dude gets a lot of full counts, and that's fine. If he gets a walk and then a double play, but sometimes Peterson's going to need outings where he's going to go out there and, first pitch fly ball, first pitch ground ball. He's going to need some of those. We'll see. Obviously, following that, Tommy Hunter came in, Mets legend, 1 inning, a hit, a strikeout, phenomenal outing there. And then, of course, in the 9th inning, only going 2/3 of the bottom of the 9th, because the Marlins were able to walk it off. Adam Ottavino faced 2 batters, a hit, a run, 6 pitches. 4 of those were strikes. Unfortunate outing from Ottavino. I hate to bash him. I usually don't like to come on here and say, oh, very unlucky. But, Ottavino, he was facing, I can't even tell you his name. What was his name? Nick Fortes, the Marlins backup catcher, hit a walk-off home run against him, a solo shot to left field. That was gone off the bat for the most part, down the line almost. He hit a walk-off home run against Adam Ottavino. And Ottavino, I mean, unfortunate there that, he was looking good for the first 2 batters. We know that he had that strikeout, and then Luis Guillorme with that phenomenal catch to rob Jesus Aguilar of a base hit. But unfortunately, he left one slider a little bit over the table, and Fortes was able to execute on it and hand it out of the ballpark. And we know that's been a little bit of a concern, and not much of a concern, but something that is going to happen with Ottavino is, it's not like he's in the 7th or 8th inning and you have a couple runs, so he gives up a solo shot. That's okay. We know with him being a slider pitcher, some of these guys are going to chase, and just with the luck of it, it's going to connect with the bat, and they're going to drive the ball, and it's going to go. But, unfortunate pitch decision there, and he did get the L. In terms of this offense, it was quiet, very disappointing. I don't want to say this was the most disappointing game this season, but definitely rough. In the 3rd inning, Brandon Nimmo had a solo home run to center, 418 feet. You love to see Nimmo hit for some power. In the 3rd inning, later on, Pete Alonso had an RBI double to right field to bring in Starling Marte. And that's all she wrote for the offense. Only 5 hits. Mets really did struggle with this offense with runners in scoring position. Had at least not 20, but at least 10 to 11 runners. At least 10 to 11 runners in scoring position, and they were just not able to execute. For starters, in the 9th inning, you had James Mcneal on second with 1 out, and you had JD Davis, and you had Eduardo Escobar and Luis Guillorme both choke up on that. Really unfortunate days for Escobar, Guillorme, and McCann, all 0 for 4. The only guys that actually were able to contribute was Nimmo, Marte, and Alonso. Davis did get a hit, yeah, but it didn't really come to much at the end of the day. Nimmo going 2 for 4, home run and a double, hoping he could hit for the cycle, but a base hit and a triple shy. So that was that. Pete Alonso 1 for 3, obviously with that RBI double, and then same thing for Marte, the single. But obviously Alonso, there were some walks. Obviously Marte walked, Lindor walked, Alonso walked, Davis walked. But regardless of the walks, they just were not able to hit when there was runners in scoring position. So, that's going to be the thing for this team. We saw it a lot last year. I'm not saying that we're back to last year, but, it's going to happen in any game. But just unfortunate to see. So you hope that they can try and change up their approach compared to last outing. So that was the New York Mets and the Miami Marlins series summary. The New York Mets went to Miami and took 2 of 3. You were hoping for the sweep, but hey, listen, you can't win them all. That's just how the game works sometimes. It sucks, but oh well, what are you going to do? Now the Houston Astros are coming into town, and Houston, are we going to have a problem? We'll see. The New York Mets are back at home facing the Houston Astros in a 2-game set, and we saw them last week, and it did not go well. As you guys may remember, the Astros won both games against the Mets, and they're a team that definitely is going to be very concerning, definitely them and the Yankees. Houston Astros, it's going to be a schedule, but in Game 1, which will be tonight at 7:10, and the lineup is out, so I will go over that. We will have Framber Valdez on the bump for the Astros left-handed pitcher. That worries me. We know how the Mets are against left-handed pitching. Definitely not that great. So we'll see. Hopefully they can triumph and feast up on Valdez. For the Mets, we have Carlos Cookie Carrasco on the bump for the Mets, and Carrasco's coming off of a very inadequate start, against the Astros at Minute Maid Park, where he only went 2 innings and, really exploded. 4 runs. We had that lower back tightness issue, so that's probably why, but he's looking for a big rebounds game. We know the home runs have kind of been a little bit of a concern for him, giving up 9 of them. But overall, like I said, if you're going to be a guy who's going to give up, home run shots, make them solo. We know that, Scherzer could be a guy that, give up a lot of solo shots. So make sure, if you're going to give up a lot of hard contact, barrels, home runs, I guess try not to walk anyone. I think that's common sense for baseball, but, that's what I say for Carrasco. Get out of the first inning. He's been good for that besides maybe 1 or 2 outings. He does have good numbers at home, 5-0 for basic stats, win-loss record, and, of course, a flat 3 ERA at home. So his stats at home are good. So hopefully he can get the best of luck there. 8-3 on the season, 4.42 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, and, of course, 77.1 innings pitched with 77 strikeouts. So the strikeouts are there. So hopefully he can try and get something working. So that'll be tonight's game at 7:10. And getting into tomorrow's game, Game 2. Like I said, this is only a 2-game series. The New York Mets will have Justin Verlander on the bump. And that is very concerning. Verlander is having a Cy Young caliber season. He really is. He is back to himself. 9-3 on the season, a 2.22 ERA, a WHIP of 0.87. Verlander is really looking phenomenal this season. 89 innings, 84 strikeouts, 11 home runs. So the home runs have been a little bit of a thing for him. So, maybe a guy like Alonso or Lindor can take him deep tomorrow. That'd be ideal. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. And of course, for the New York Mets, we will have Taijuan Walker on the bump for the Mets. 6-2 on the season, 3.03 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, 65.1 innings pitched, 49 strikeouts. Walker's been phenomenal. I mean, keep the splitter slider on point, swinging and misses. If you get some ground balls, great. He only 3 home runs this season, which has really been phenomenal. 3 home runs and 65 1/3 of an inning. So, I mean, keep that. That's to your advantage. We know the Astros lineup is definitely a home run hitting team. I mean, with Yordan Alvarez, 22 home runs, Altuve's capable, Bregman's capable. So, we'll see how things can go for there. This is a 2-game series, like I said. New York Mets coming into this game by 47-27 with a win-loss record of 24 and sayonara, with 24-10 on the homestand. So we will see how things can go there. That's a bot in the chat. I don't like bots. Maybe, hey, listen, if the bot's a Mets fan, then that's great. So we'll see how things can go there. So obviously getting into the Astros, they are coming into sorry about that. They are coming into this. Jesus, that really got me distracted. My apologies. They're coming into this series against the Mets 45-27, where they are 25-16 on the road. So we'll see if they will get some luck or if the Mets can beat them up. That would be the goal for me, of course. But we'll see. Astros are looking really good. I think, obviously when it comes to the Astros, they just coming off of a great series against the Yankees, 4-game set. Arguably could have won all 4. Definitely was capable of it. Obviously, they had a no-hitter. That is definitely to be noted. And then obviously they got walked off. So they split the series, but they were definitely capable of winning it all. But unfortunately, that's how baseball works. So we will see how they can face against the Mets. They had some luck in the Bronx. We'll see. Will they also have the same lucks in Flushing, Queens? Some guys to look out for, I guess you could say, for this series. There definitely are a couple guys to look out for. I think Pete Alonso is definitely one guy. Phenomenal numbers. He did have a home run against the Astros last appearance in Houston. So we'll see, can Pete Alonso get into some luck? Alonso really making a strong case for MVP, if not for Paul Goldschmidt. He's having a phenomenal season also, but Alonso, the last 7 games has been really raking his stats in the last 7 games and 23 at bats, 7 hits, so a hit per game, 3 homers, 6 RBIs, 6 walks, 3 walks, my apologies, 304 average, 357 OBP, and of course a slugging of 783. So the doubles and the homers are there. You like to see that. I think Jeff McNeal is another guy to note for this series. He's coming off of the day-to-day. He was out for about a week. He wasn't on the IL, but he was on day-to-day. Last 7 games or last 7 appearances, you could say, for him, in 20 at-bats, 8 hits, a run, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, 4 walks, 400 average, OBP of 520, and a slugging of 700. So that's what you like to see out of McNeal. Hopefully he can have a phenomenal outing. And I guess my third guy, if I'm going to name another guy to have a good series, I think Mark Canha's going to have a good series. I really do. Canha's been he's been a little quiet. He's been in a little bit of a slump the last couple of games. The strikeouts have been pretty high for him, but I think Canha's going to break out of that slump and start to hit a little bit more. So that's what I think those 3 guys are going to execute big time this upcoming series. So we will see. And, of course, for the Astros, I think it's pretty obvious. I think it's Yordan Alvarez. I mean, this dude has just been on fire to the whole league the last couple days. So, I guess if you can try and shut him down, then that's the best thing the Mets can do. So we'll have to see how things can go for there. But that is the New York Mets and the Houston Astros series summary or preview. So we're going to see how things can go there. So now let's stop wasting any more time and let's dive into your guys' comments, questions, concerns, all of that crazy stuff. Let's see what you guys have for me in the comment section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, do not hesitate. Feel free and drop them in the comment section below. See if you guys have any questions, anything related to the Mets, the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Braves, anything. Do not hesitate. Feel free and drop them below. But what's going on, everyone? RJ, how's it going, brother? I appreciate you tuning in, man. What's going on? Karen, what's going on? Frederick, greetings, brother. What's happening? Trey, what is going on once again? Marco, what's happening? Cal, Logan, Seth, what's going on? Gio, glad you made it. Peter, Kobe, Timothy, Cal with the first big question of the day says, hey, Hayden, what's up? Took 2 of 3 from the Marlins, so I'm happy about that. Definitely able to sweep, but can't get them all. Like I say every stream, it would be nice for a sweep. You know, I definitely think this team is definitely capable of going on, like, you know, a couple game win streak. That would be nice. So we'll see down the line if that can happen for them. Trey says, I'm really hoping for a Subway Series in October. I was very young in 2000, so I vaguely remember it. New York baseball is the best baseball right now. Yeah, man, I agree with you. I think New York baseball, as of right now, is the most exciting. We don't see it very often where we see the 2 best teams, in baseball are from the same city. Unfortunately, the LA teams are no longer that case. The Angels, unfortunately, have took a little bit of a slump. But they're only 4 games under, so they could have a little bit of a comeback. We'll see. That's what makes baseball great. But yeah, crazy to see the Mets and Yankees in first place. You don't see that often, so hopefully I would like to see that more. Gallipo says, Ottavino makes me so nervous every single time he's out there. I had a bad feeling after that first fly out to Marte. I didn't understand why Buck didn't put Diaz in. I understand he's pitched the last 2 days, but you have an off day. Come on, bud. Yeah, I mean, like, I understand you do have an off day tomorrow, and I don't know. It's a tricky situation. I know, like, we've seen with Diaz could be, 3 days in a row. You didn't want him to go out there, and there's sliders all over the place. And, I mean, Diaz has been consistent. Have we seen him much 3 days in a row this season? No. I think Ottavino honestly may have been the guy to go to still. I mean, if you had a Seth Lugo or someone, if, Lugo was, I guess, available. I don't know if he was available or not. You could have went to him. Yeah, I mean, would Ottavino have been, like, the most intriguing choice that I would have thought of? Probably not, but it happens, I guess. Like I said, deadline, you'll attack that issue. Get that, set up man or something. Trace is absolutely brilliant of Buck to teach that, and more importantly, Nimmo to remember. Yeah, the intelligence like that helps you win ball games. Connor, what's going on? Connor says, do you think do the Mets still have enough starting depth? Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the Mets, you can never have enough depth. But I say this, as of right now, a lot of those guys are doing their job. They're going out there, and I mean, the Mets still have, a winning record. They're playing above 500 ball, in June. And we know that June is a month that's prone for them to really struggle. So overall, I mean, if they can continue to do what they're going to do, like I said, don't rush the ground back. Don't rush Scherzer back. Have them come back when they're ready. But, if guys like Peterson, if guys like Walker are going to step up, then I think, I don't want to say you're fine, but maybe you don't need to panic and say, okay, we got to get these guys up ASAP. Sports Fan says the Mets have an excellent rotation of indie pitchers: DeGrom, Scherzer, McGill, Carrasco, Lucchesi. Yeah, that's crazy. That's probably considering that's probably a top 3, top 2 rotation right there. Timothy says, Hayden, will the Mets trade Dom Smith and pitching prospect Robert Dominguez to the Angels for Shohei Ohtani? And probably not. I mean, I don't know when. I think Ohtani's free agency is. I think they extended him. I'm not sure, but nah, probably not. Sports Fan says they still have 6 weeks until the trade deadline. They'll be in a better position in late July to see whether they need more pitching. Yeah, I mean, they'll still go after pitching, obviously, whether it's bullpen. The bullpen's at like one position that I think any team's going to go after, unless you're selling, of course, but it's not the case for the Mets. So as of right now, some bullpen arms, probably, I'd say maybe 2-3 arms would be ideal. One of those being a southpaw left-handed pitcher would be very good. I mean, obviously a big bat, but in terms of pitching, yeah. I mean, will they get a starter? We'll see. I mean, having DeGrom and Scherzer come back will kind of be like your trade deadline acquisitions there, but you never know. I mean, we'll see how things can go. I mean, hopefully Lucchesi, he could also be a big big bullpen role. He's been looking good recovering from Tommy John. His stuff is still there. The churve, he said that all of his pitches still feel good. So hopefully he comes back August. Maybe he could also be a big bullpen role. Trey says, do the Mets have the best outfield in baseball? I definitely say they're up there. I mean, I like that Kenna, Nimmo, Marte, or McNeal, Nimmo, Marte. I think that's a really good, really good outfield. Do you think it's the best? I think there's better, but I'd say it's definitely top 5. Peter says, I was never much of a fan of Showalter until this year, but the difference in the Mets from last season to this season is amazing. Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't crazy about Showalter either. I mean, even this past offseason, I was on these streams, and you can go back, and I probably wasn't crazy about Showalter. I thought that he's kind of been out of the game for a while, and I was a little nervous about that. But, I mean, overall, Showalter really for the most part, has really stunned a lot of teams. And it's shocking that no teams went after him. The Phillies went for Girardi, Yankees for Boone, that no one really went after him. And I guess, hey, it's kind of last laugh. Look how he's doing. And no one really gave him a chance. But we'll see. Definitely more to go for the Mets. Cal says, I don't like to be negative when we are winning. However, the Mets have to address the concern with Escobar, Dom Smith, and McCann. Those guys provide little to no offense, and it's not doing good for us. Yeah, I agree. It's not doing any good for us. I mean, as of right now, Escobar has really not shown what he's hoped to be. I mean, Escobar last year, a dude that hit 35 home runs. You were hoping he could be another power hitter behind Alonso, but he's really not providing anything. And I think right now I would have no problem benching him and giving Heuerman more starts at third, because it's going to come to the point where this dude is getting into 0-2 counts and he's swinging all these crazy pitches. He's striking out and he's little light contact. It's not like he's hitting the ball hard and it's finding a glove. I mean, last 7 games, 4 hits. Last 15 games, 9 hits. We're going to need more than that. Obviously, the last 7 games, he's batting 154, OBP of 148, and slugging of 269. I mean, last 4 games, only 4 hits, a homer, 5 ribbies, and 9 strikeouts. I mean, that's really not doing him any good. So, we're going to have to see. I mean, 4 strikeouts in the Miami series, only 1 hit. So he only got on base once the Miami series, so he's really going to have to step up. When it comes to Dom Smith, we'll see. I mean, I think right now he's really in that role where if he doesn't perform, he is going to get sent down again and be traded at the deadline, which is looking like a realistic take right now. But I just think Dom Smith's value isn't that high. Since he's been back, he hasn't been horrible. I mean, he had the first game back, he had 2 hits, and I mean, he's not getting everyday playing time, so okay, I'll forgive him for that. But for the games he's played, he played a game in the Houston, had 1 at bat, he got a hit. Obviously, struck out twice in the second Houston game, had a hit and a run, and then in the Marlins game the other day, he did have a hit, but that was really all in 3 at bats. So we'll see from Dom Smith. I mean, his life really is on the line, and then McCann. When it comes to McCann, it's what's expected. I mean, honestly, at this rate, this dude's not going to provide any offense. I mean, you're just waiting for Alvarez at this point. It doesn't really make a difference. I think, was Nito, I guess, hitting the same as him? Well, Nito couldn't get the ball off the ground. So, and high strikeout merchant, where at least McCann hits the ball a little bit. So I'll give him that. The ground ball ratio has chilled out for him, I will say. Dos, what's going on, brother? He says, what's your favorite Mets jersey? Home, away, blue, or black? I like the black ones. Honestly, if I had to choose, it's probably the white home. I don't know. I'll be basic. I see you're growing some facial hair. Yeah, I've decided, I don't know. I'll probably shave tonight. What's going on, Gio? I don't know. I know it's maybe a superstition. I haven't, last time I shaved, Alonso's hit 3 homers soon. So I don't know. Maybe a little superstition. Cal says, who can you trust outside of Edwin Diaz in the bullpen? Yeah, right now, I mean, the bullpen depth is a little weary. I think that's something the Mets will definitely have to tackle at the deadline, 1,000%. Right now, this bullpen, you definitely downgraded. I will say that. I mean, are they as horrible as a bullpen as everyone claims to be? I don't think they're horrible, but it's definitely not good. I definitely think there are teams that have worse bullpens, but yeah, it's definitely not working for me. As of right now, I mean, taking a look at this Mets roster, I mean, the only guys that I'd say actually fully I actually trust in besides Edwin Diaz, and I don't even want to say I trust Diaz fully. I mean, you never know, players could be streaky. Honestly, as of right now, I mean, if David Peterson goes into a bullpen role, but Tommy Hunter's been, solid. Dolly Rodriguez has actually been really good and much better than Miguel Castro, in the Bronx. So those are a couple guys to name off the bat. I mean, if you go for some type of Mark Melancon at the deadline, I know he's not having the best of season, out in Arizona, considering what he's up against. But I definitely think pitching at the deadline, bullpen's a thing that every team goes after. In terms of who's out there, like I say, bullpen arms are streaky. I mean, you never make a long investment for them. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what relievers have contracts expiring at the end of this season, but I guess you mainly look for, like guys on the Royals, guys on the Reds. You look at the teams that will be selling, this trade deadline, and you'll approach it from there. But those are just a couple names to go after, I guess. Kobe says, how are you doing, brother? Enjoyed the series dub down in Miami. Onwards to play the Astros. Let's take one of two. Yeah, absolutely, man. I definitely enjoyed the series win. I agree. At least win one. That's what I say. Trey says, Vientos is mashing lefties. If you are going to bring him up, platoon him with JD Davis. Yeah, I mean, right now, Vientos, let's see how Mr. Mark Vientos is doing down. I know that he recently just started. See how he's doing. I know that he recently just started in Syracuse. He was called up, and yeah, he's been belting pretty loud. A lot of these belts, a lot of home runs. He's been doing pretty well up there. 45 hits, 11 homers. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, the average is going to be crazy? No, OBP's there, the OPS is there. I mean, I'm not crazy about the average, but let's be real. I'm not the type of person that likes batting average as a stat to analyze a player on. Yeah, not bad. I definitely, think, another power hitter could definitely be ideal for this team. If Vientos isn't going to get called up this year, it's definitely going to be next year out of spring training or at the deadline or, early half next year. Because, it definitely would be nice to have another power bat in this lineup behind Alonso because, like I said, going into the season, you were hoping Escobar could do that, but he isn't really doing that. So I think Vientos could be that guy, especially, like you said, against left-handed pitching. Like Mets left-handed pitching, the Mets hitting against left-handed pitching isn't great. It's definitely better than last year, I'll say that. But it's not great. But yeah, platoon with JD could work. I mean, him against lefties and Davis against righties could. Who's been the Mets' first half most valuable player, MVP? It's Pete Alonso, no doubt. I mean, this dude, just the run creation, the fundamental hitting, the power, it's Alonso every day of the week. Gio says, what are your thoughts on the All-Star Game hats that were released today? I'm not too crazy about them. They're horrible. Ever since Nike started making the jerseys for baseball, they have been horrible. Just go back to the old where each team wears their own jersey and they have the All-Star patch because it's horrible. Trey says, in my opinion, the Mets need to get two bullpen arms, with one of them being a lefty. Likewise, man. Thomas says, Astros concern me more, but the Braves are the team in the Mets' way. Both fairly equal, but beatable. I'm confident this Mets group down the stretch. Yeah, I mean, as of right now, luckily the Mets don't have to face the Astros and Yankees, consistently. I agree with you. The Braves are the team to go after, considering that they're getting hot. We know that it happened last year. At the deadline and at the second half entering, they were below 500, and same thing happened for them this season. Obviously, a little bit more earlier than the second half for them, but they've been nice. And I mean, without Acuna, without Soroka, that's definitely impressive. So they are the team that you're going to probably be facing or having to beat for the NL East. But, like I said, I mean, we'll see how the Mets do in the second half. I mean, can the team get worse if you get to DeGrom and Scherzer back? Kobe says Max Scherzer is making his rehab start today with Francisco Alvarez behind the plate in Double-A. A nice duo that many Mets fans are excited to see next year. That's true. Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty cool once Alvarez is up at the major league level to have those two guys. Yeah, I never really thought of that. That's pretty intriguing. Dos says, I'm really hoping that Max Scherzer can make his next available start. I've missed him and DeGrom so much deeply. Yeah. I mean, this is what I said. You don't want to rush them back. You really don't, because from what you've learned, rushing DeGrom back doesn't help. And knowing, this is my thing with DeGrom. Everyone's excited that he's coming back, and I am too. But I'm not going to be fully excited until this dude is fully back. Until this dude is fully back, pitching in a Mets uniform every single day on the mound. If he, I want him on the mound every fifth day. I don't want, he's going to make a start, pitch great, he'll make a second start, but then he has to leave the fifth inning because something's wrong. And then he's day-to-day. And then he misses 2 starts. Then makes another start. No, I need him out there every fifth day. So that was with DeGrom last year. I mean, he missed like 1 million starts in May and April. And then just July came and he said no more. And then he was gone for the rest. So like I said, with DeGrom, am I excited? He's healing, yes, but I'm not going to be fully like, oh my God, he's back until the dude's making, back-to-back starts. Not to sound like a party pooper, but you need DeGrom on there every single day, not, back for 2 games and then he's gone again. So, we'll see how things can go there. Elias, what's going on, brother? I appreciate you tuning in, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're doing well with, hope you're doing well with the pre-college stuff. Let's go, Mets. Connor says, I believe the Mets can answer the DH via in-house. Get Vientos or Alvarez a shot. Yeah, I mean, definitely, would you like to go for the in-house way? Yes. Obviously, you don't really want to give up your prospects for a DH, especially if it's a temporary DH, like, JD Martinez or whatever. I wouldn't really be big on that. But yeah, I think Vientos would be the most reasonable guy in the minor leagues for that DH role. Obviously, yeah, Alvarez does have a nice power bat, but with Alvarez, honestly, let him focus on the defense. I'm not trying to get Alvarez out of this little, offensive rhythm he has. He hits dingers. He hits homers. His power is fine. I want him to focus on the defense like any good catcher would do, because I don't want Alvarez to come up, be a great hitter, and can't frame for shit. Because we see it on MLB a lot. I mean, there'll be a catcher who's a great catcher, great defensive metrics, and he's a horrible hitter, and then a catcher who is great hitting and horrible defensive metrics. That was really common, in like the 90s and 20, 30 years ago, but game's evolved a little bit since then. Marco says, what's your all-star bout looking like? Good thing that you asked. I actually just did it on my computer a little bit ago. Yesterday, but still. So if you guys know me well, we all know that the all-star competition is literally a popularity contest. It's nonsense. It's silly. It's dumb. It's a popularity contest. It's which fan can vote for whoever players they like. If you notice, they say vote your favorite players. It's not vote your favorite players. It's vote the players that deserve it. I don't want to see Ozzy Albies, who has a 244 average and 694 OPS, second in the all-star voting, when Mcneal is third, having a better season. Lux is fourth, having a better season. I mean, like, seriously? Cronenworth is having a better season. Segura's having a better season. Yet, the dude's been on the IL for how long? And he's an all-star. No. It doesn't work like that. So, it's annoying. It really is. And this is what I say. The Mets, I love Mets fans, but they're horrible when it comes to all-star ballot voting. They just either don't vote or they vote honestly, which, okay, I respect. But you see Dodgers fans, Braves fans, Blue Jays fans, they vote their whole team. Why can't Mets fans do that? When it comes to individualized awards for the Mets, it's never been their luck. So, like, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, my goodness, it's the end of the world, but it's annoying. Fernando Tatis Jr. hasn't played a single game this season, and he has 250,000 votes already. So Tatis has more votes. He has 250,000 votes. He has more votes. I think I have to look at it exactly. So let's see. Let's Google, because I saw they did the second update, whatever it was, the second update for the first, however it is, yesterday. So let's see who Tatis is ahead of. I don't know. Tatis. So Tatis is ahead of Gregorius, Crawford, Adames, Iglesias, and Horner. I mean, that's just sad. Dude has around 250,000. You know, that's just, I don't know. It just drives me nuts. I can't stand it. Like Ozzy Albies, no, he should not be on there. He's having no. Like I get it, like catcher position. Okay, you have Contreras and d'Arnaud. I mean, maybe if you want to get like Molina in there as an honorary thing, okay. Shortstop's kind of a rough year. In DH, like outfield, Adam Duvall. Why is Adam Duvall 6th? Like, explain to me. I'm serious. If someone voted for Duvall, I'm not trying to be rude, but like, I would like to know why they voted for Duvall. Besides it being, you know, oh, you like him. Just, you know, I just like, and it's funny because this dude is on pace to go to the All-Star game. So, you know, listen, I'm not trying to, you know, shit on the Braves only, and I'll talk about other teams and other players. I'll talk about the Mets, for example, if you want to, you know, make myself impartial. Duvall this season, 198 average, 264 OBP, and a 611 OPS. If that dude gets in the All-Star game, that is sad. That is, then in that case, put in James McCann, because McCann has better numbers than that. Maybe not the OPS, but still. Just, I don't get it. So you're telling me Duvall is having a better season than Canna, Nimmo, Taylor, Schwarber, Yastrzemski, Ian Happ. Free my boy Ian Happ at number 15. This dude is having a phenomenal season. Ian Happ should definitely get in. I don't understand it. I mean, the American League, shortstop, Bo Bichette, no, shouldn't be that. Anderson's having a better season. Bogarts, Pena, no, I don't know why. I mean, outfield for the American League, okay. I mean, the 1, 2, 3 makes sense of Judge, Trout, and Springer. Ward's having a good season. Stanton, Gurriel's okay, I guess. I mean, maybe I think Tucker, Brantley should be up there a little bit higher. Same for J-Rod. Yeah, it's whatever. I mean, as of right now, on pace, your all-stars for the second round are Marte and Alonso. And it seems, because this is my question, is that Ozzy Albies would likely finish second at the second base voting, but Albies is hurt, and he's going to be out for the next couple months. So Chisholm will probably start. You'll have Albies make it, but not play. It'll still like come up on his resume that he was an all-star. And then I'm guessing you would probably, like I said, you know, you have fan voting, and then the league could vote. The players have a ballot. So that's probably what it should be for the most part, but whatever. So Mcneal will probably get in because you have to have an alternate. You have to have a backup for the position, and plus the players and commissioner's office votes. And I mean, Mcneal is having a phenomenal season, much better than, in my opinion, Chisholm. Call me a biased Mets fan all you want, but yeah, Chisholm's having a good season. I'll give him that. But I think the average favors Mcneal. The OPS is a 10% difference, so I'm not going to go crazy about that. The OPS plus favors Mcneal. You know, yeah, I get it. You know, he has more hits, 74 hits, Mcneal. You know, okay, yeah, maybe Chisholm has more home runs. Mcneal isn't a homer guy, only 4 homers. Chisholm has 10 extra RBIs than him, okay. But this isn't 1912. I don't care about home runs or RBIs. I mean, home runs are cool. Okay, I care about home runs, but there's other stuff to evaluate a player than on home runs and RBIs. It's a factor, but McNeal isn't a power hitter. At least not anymore. So, yeah, I mean, as of right now, if you're going to ask me who is on my all-star ballot, I will share that. But who I think is going to make it, I think for the Mets, Alonso, McNeal, Marte, and Diaz. So I think we'll have 4 guys. I think Alonso will make it to the second round and be a reserve. Marte will make it to the second round, be the outfield reserve, whatever he is. I think Diaz will get him put in by the league because pitchers are chosen by the league. And I think McNeal will probably get put in by the league. So in terms of my all-star ballot, I kind of went interesting on it, but I'll show mine. So this is my all-star ballot. And okay, yeah, call me a little biased. Okay. But this is what I say. As of right now, yeah, we'll leave it like this so you can kind of evaluate it. So as of right now, I'll kind of go over the National League first. I have Pete Alonso. It's obviously Paul Goldschmidt, and I'm going to repeat myself. Paul Goldschmidt is the best first baseman in the league right now, but the dude is 1.5 million votes, so I don't think he needs the votes. I think he's automatically it. So I don't think he needs the votes. So I'm voting for Alonso for the sake of the votes, and also Alonso's second best. Mcneal, yeah. My apologies. I'm working myself up about this. Mcneal, obviously, you have other guys like Chisholm. You look at it here. Mcneal has the average. I mean, the OPS is just there. But, when it comes to the hits, when it comes to the OPS, when it comes to the contact, it's Mcneal. So I voted Mcneal. Third, Machado having a great season. Shortstop Turner having a great season. Catcher Contreras, not much depth. I mean, you could vote for Contreras, Stevenson, Darno, Will Smith. Maybe if you want to vote Keibert Ruiz for some defensive metrics, or whoever. Maybe my boy James McCann. But right now it's Wilson Contreras having a phenomenal season in Chicago. For the outfield, Jock Peterson having a great season. Mookie Betts, great season. The reason I didn't vote Acuna was because he's going to get it anyways, let's be real. And he's kind of been out for a little bit. So I kind of wanted to vote for someone that, I guess, I guess kind of needs to vote. So Ian Happ is really underrated. And obviously Harper. Yeah, I know Harper's hurt. Machado's hurt. But, I mean, when it comes to the DH, it's either William Contreras or maybe you vote for Pujols for nostalgia. Maybe. I don't know. You tell me. But it's Harper. An American League, I think, is pretty reasonable. I don't think I need to explain much. Yeah, so that's pretty much my all-star ballot. In terms of who I think is going to make it for the Mets, like I said, Alonso is going to make it, McNeil's going to make it, Diaz and Marte. So I think those will be the guys to represent. Ruben, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well, man. How are you doing? He says, what's going on, bro? Mets are playing good ball, LFGM. They most certainly are, yeah. I'm definitely happy to say Mets are playing good baseball. Shea Parking Lot, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. He says, let Alvarez slow cook in the minors so he is delicious dish in the majors in a couple. Yeah, I like that saying. Yeah, I mean, as of right now, I agree with you. I think, let him get to the best of his ability that he needs to. I really will say that. Let him focus on the defensive metrics. I don't want him to come up and him not be ready. That's the ultimate concern. We see that happen with a lot of prospects. They get called up, and then they're not, and then they're just not ready. I mean, you saw it with Kalanick. You've seen it with a lot of prospects this year. The only prospect that's actually having a really good season is Jeremy Pena, Julio Rodriguez, and that's really it. I mean, Witt's been okay. I mean, Rushman's been okay. He's been on fire lately. We'll see. Hopefully he could continue that stretch. So, we'll honestly have to see. Guilty. Trust me, dude. I voted all Mets too sometimes, but what I do is I have two emails. I have my email for this account and then my personal email. I do an honest ballot, and then I do my all Mets ballot. But, I mean, yeah, it's intriguing. Kobe says the Mets have to do something about Escobar. He's been slumping for at least all of the season. They better give Guillorme his playing time if that's the case. Yeah, likewise, man. I said that before, and I'll say it again, is that the Mets team right now is showing that if you're not going to perform to the best of your abilities, or yet really play any decent, you're going to get sent down or benched. We saw it with Dom Smith. We saw what they did to J.D. Davis last year and what they're doing to him this year. He's not even starting anymore, as I don't think he should. He's really not good defensively. But yeah, I think that is going to put pressure on Escobar soon, is that if he's not going to perform, he sees Guillorme is hot with the glove. And he's cooled down a little bit with the bat, I'll say, Guillorme, but he's still getting on base. The OBP is still favorable. He's finding a way. So, I mean, as of right now, Escobar is going to have to wake up a little bit. He's going to have to, stop, getting into these automatic 0-2 counts and, hit a little bit for some power. Because it's not like he's hitting the ball and he's getting unlucky. He's just not hitting the ball well at all. Yeah, Machado is hurt, but yeah, Machado is hurt. Peter says, what are your predictions for the Mets at the trade deadline? Good question. As of right now, my predictions for the trade deadline, well, I mean, there's a lot of good guys out there. I mean, depending who you go after, I mean, maybe you call up a team like the Reds, you get some bullpen. I mean, the bullpen is the biggest concern. The bullpen is the number one target that you are going after at this trade deadline. The bullpen. I mean, it's clear and obvious. You are going after the bullpen. That is what you're going to approach at this year's deadline, and another big power bat. We know last year the Mets brought in Diaz at the second half and really carried the whole team on his shoulders with Alonso and Nimmo. But the rest of the offense wasn't able to contribute. 2015, Cespedes was brought in, really helped out this offense. So you hope we can have something like that. I think the offense is fine, but the power is kind of, I guess, lacked. And sometimes you just need a power bat to just step up in there and just moon one to the upper deck, just drive in 3-4 runs. So you need that. And Alonso, he's providing all the power by himself. And sooner rather than later, he's going to need some assistance. He really is. So hopefully, for the sake, you can get another power bat in there. I think that would be ideal. Guillorme, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Guillorme also, I mean, has been awesome defensively. Ozzie Smith, whatever other player you want to compare him to, go for. I mean, he really has been having a phenomenal season. Ray Ordonez 2.0 type. I mean, he's been one of the best gloves on the team. I mean, at any position, really. Third, second, short. You put him anywhere in the infield, second, third, or short, and he's been a Gold Glove caliber player. It's unfortunate that he's not really an everyday player, and I think you'll notice you're going to start seeing him more often than none. I think Guillorme definitely deserves more playing time, and I'll admit, I apologize. I said he isn't. He's a defensive adjustment, and I was wrong. He's been doing really good as a starter on the field and in the batter's box. So overall, with Guillorme, I really hope he can keep it up for the most part. I really do. And I mean, yeah, like I said, if he can keep it up, and that'd be phenomenal. Because like I said, your bench right now, even if he's a bench player, your bench right now isn't looking crazy. I mean, you have Nito, you have Dom Smith, you have him. I mean, let's look at the Mets roster. I mean, last year you definitely downgraded. I mean, that VR-Pilar combination. Okay, yeah, Pilar wasn't like the best hitter, but I mean, he came up when it mattered sometimes. So looking at this bench, you have Nito, you have Davis, you have Guillorme, you have Smith, and then you have Plummer. So, I mean, you have the 4-man bench. It's no longer a 5-man. So Plummer, Smith, Guillorme, Davis, Nito. Nito's 1, Davis is 2, Guillorme is 3, Smith is 4, and Plummer's 5. Right. And then I think when they limit the pitching staff to 13 pitchers, then you'll have to have 4 men in the four men in the bullpen, or not the bullpen, the bench. So we'll see. Ivan Doe says, will JD Davis ever be able to return to his full-line 2019 potential? Yeah, I mean, JD Davis has been a really interesting, I guess, person. When the Mets traded for him, quick little story time. When the Mets traded for him, we weren't expecting to get much out of him. We thought he'd be a 9th inning, 8th inning, bench roll guy, step up, be a pitch hitter, substitute at third, maybe the outfield. But 2019, we saw 22 homers out of him, average 270, OPS favorable, all of the offensive metrics favorable to a little bit above average. And we thought, damn, could this dude really be a really good player? Good steal from Houston. You didn't really give up much for him. I forgot who you gave up exactly, but I think it was 2 low-end prospects, and I think like a bullpen arm. Wasn't much. And we saw the opposite field power has been huge for Davis. We haven't seen much of it. Hopefully, if he can figure it out. He needs to hit a fastball. That's the biggest thing, is this dude cannot hit a fastball for his life. And I think that's going to be something that if he is on this team still in spring training next year, him and Chavez and the rest of the offensive coaches are going to have to work on that. Because, I mean, yeah, if you hit a slider, great, a cutter, great. He's been great at, hitting the cutter. But, I mean, a fastball, I mean, come on, that's AAA stuff right there. So, I mean, hey, I'm not the one to talk. I probably couldn't either, but, So we'll see. Could he ever return? We'll see. I mean, he's showing signs. He's hitting the ball really well. I don't want to say that, oh, he's unlucky or anything, but he has been hitting the ball pretty well. I mean, he's hitting it hard, and it's finding a glove. But unfortunately, baseball's a result-oriented game, and it doesn't matter if the exit velocity is 117 and a launch angle of 30 or whatever. It doesn't matter. It matters. It's a result-oriented game. Point is, that's the point. So will he ever return? I hope so. Do I think he'll ever, are we going to see 20 homers out of him? Probably not. Marco says, did you see the Angels and Mariners brawl? That was crazy, man. Yeah, pretty unfortunate. But it was kind of funny. Shea Parking Lot says, what if a team wants Guillorme for a good bullpen help? Do you do it? As of right now, no, because the bench is just, you have no one there if you get rid of Guillorme. I mean, yeah, you'll have Davis, you'll have Smith and Plummer. But as of right now, I want Guillorme in that bench role. If the offseason comes and there's a bigger, move for that, okay. I think it's really going to come down to who. It really depends who it's for. If it's for bullpen help, I'm not giving up Guillorme. I mean, I think one thing we could learn is you never want to invest a lot in a reliever, considering if they could be streaky or not. But I probably wouldn't give up Guillorme for a bullpen role. If it's anything, it's some low-end prospect maybe or two. But I probably wouldn't give up Guillorme for a reliever. Unless it's for like a Hader. Like I said, there's only like one guy in the league I would invest in long-term, and that's Josh Hader. Otherwise, I mean, relievers can definitely be very intriguing. So, we'll have to see how honestly things can go ahead there. Ivindo says, I like Jeff McNeal in the 8th hole. It provides protection at the bottom of the lineup. So if the 7th hitter gets on, then we don't have to see McCann or Escobar right behind him. Exactly. Even if you do McCann in the 9th spot, you'll have Nimmo in the 1st spot. So, if I think it's like 7th is Canna, McNeal is 8th tonight, that's not bad because then you have, let's say you start off with Canna in the inning. 2 on-base percent merchants, contact merchant. Yeah, McCann double play, whatever. Okay, McCann also, he hasn't been horrible at the double play since he's been back. Knock on wood. And then you go to that 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's not bad. Like I said, it's always good to have someone with the high on base percentage at the end of your lineup. I think that's really good because it provides, I guess, kind of some depth at the end of the lineup. We've been seeing, look at the Marlins series. That 8-9 with Escobar and McCann striking out. That was really tough to swallow. It really was. So I guess, overall we'll have to see how it goes for them. But I really do like McCann in the 8th hole too. Or McNeal, my apologies. That really isn't too horrific. So, we're going to have to see how that goes. And obviously the New York Mets are playing 2 games tonight, as we did go over. Probably going to call it a stream here. I do appreciate you guys for tuning in, everyone for tuning in. We had a phenomenal stream, a little bit over the hour mark. I know these streams definitely have been running much longer, and I like that. You guys have been leaving phenomenal comments, questions, everyone. Definitely really have been enjoying it. It's definitely been fun. Mets are playing well baseball, and that's, I guess, what makes these streams more exciting. It really has compared to last year where they were. Were these streams as exciting? Yeah, they were still cool to do, but maybe not the attitude. May have not been the best. So we're probably going to call it a stream here. Like I said, my apologies. I was just shooting someone a quick text message. But I really do appreciate you guys for tuning into today's stream. Please, everyone, smash that like button. Turn on those post notifications. Tell your friends about this channel. Subscribe, all of that great stuff. Tell your friends about this channel. Hit that like button. Any comments, questions, concerns. Share this channel. Tell your friends about it. Obviously, if you know anyone, Mets fan, just baseball fan overall, hook it up. Tell them about it. Tell them to get in here. Chat, all baseball, whenever. All that great stuff. In today's stream, we did go over the New York Mets and the Miami Marlins series summary. Then we transitioned into the New York Mets and the Houston Astros series preview. Big series there. We went over all Mets news, Mets update, the All-Star stuff, and, of course, your guys' comments, questions, and concerns. Always is fun to come on here and talk some New York Mets baseball with you guys. I really do appreciate you guys for tuning in to today's stream. As always, I will say one more time, please, everyone, smash that like button and turn on your post notifications. That way you know I'm live and, you never miss a live stream. I know sometimes the post notifications don't go out, so that could be something that does happen sometimes. So definitely do that. so you never miss a stream. I'm just trying to see one more thing. My apologies, guys. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. I'm just trying to figure out one little thing on Twitter. If you guys do want to follow me on Twitter, please do. That's where I always, post a lot of when I'm going to be streaming and every now and then. Even if you want to chat, if you guys do want to chat or anything new, definitely hook me up with that. Little announcement. I do want to say Max Scherzer's rehab start has been postponed. No reason yet, but he's scheduled tomorrow for Binghamton at Hartford. So why is that? I don't know. He's not going to be called up. It's not that, or brought back. So we'll see. Keith Hernandez's number retirement is set for July 9th. So that's exciting. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, otherwise, that's really all I got for you guys today. As I said, please, everyone, smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, tell your friends about this channel, and of course, vote Mets, LFGM, let's go Mets, let's get some W's, and let's get this rolling. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, everyone. As always, till next time, baseball fans, see ya.